Good morning, everybody. This is Mr. Turner with a quick demonstration on how to do a scribble portrait. I chose a picture of Rey from Star Wars because I just saw it, or I just saw Rise of Skywalker. It's pretty awesome, and choosing my tool of choice for this one, I'm using a ballpoint pen. Before I begin, I make sure that my picture on the screen is set up pretty similar to the way I want my drawing to be. I make sure that the face is zoomed in really well, and then I just do a really quick map out of the most important features, being the chin, the center of the eyes, where the nose might end, and also where the mouth is in relation to the chin and the nose. And when I have those down, I just choose a spot. I usually start with the nose because that's in the direct center of my picture. I just kind of start scribbling. What I'm looking at as I'm scribbling is the shape of those shaded areas. So right now I'm on the point of her nose with the nostrils, and I'm going to start working my shading from around there. What I'm also paying attention to is where the shaded areas are and the absolute white areas. So that little spot on her nose where it's absolutely white, that's one of the few areas on my picture that's not getting any marks at all. Otherwise, pretty much my entire page is getting some kind of value with my ballpoint pen. As I'm working, I'm being really careful and trying really hard not to pick my pen up at all from the paper. What this does is it helps me kind of focus on one area at a time, but also if I do have to move, I do kind of get this cool effect of the lines kind of swirling around my page. With the eyeballs especially, I'm trying to just create the shape of the eye and then focusing in on the pupil, trying to get the exact same size inside of that space as in the photo. The great thing about this technique is that it leaves a lot of space for errors and mistakes. For any kind of medium shaded area, you'll see that I'm not really worried about the marks that I make. I'm just kind of getting a basic layout of my values to begin. Here, especially with the mouth, I'm constantly changing my view from my picture to my working paper just to make sure that all the points are lined up correctly. So I'm looking at where the corners of the mouth match up with the eyeballs and the corners of the nose and trying to get the distance between those correct. Another fun thing about this kind of work is that right now, I'm not really totally sure how successful this is going to be. It totally looks like a person because it has eyes and nose and a mouth, but I don't totally know yet if it really looks like Rey. It maybe might look like a distant cousin, but I'm really happy with how it's developing, so I'm going to continue working on it. What really helps portraits in particular is when you start mapping out the outside boundaries of the face. So that could be the hairline or the chin line or where clothes start, but that's a really big part of a portrait, and that really helps define who it is. Here, it's starting to look a bit more like Rey. I'm still pretty happy with it, and I'm gonna continue to still focus on the hair. I like how her hair is kind of blowing around her face, so although I'm trying to copy what it looks like in the picture, I'm also going to take some liberties and add a few of my own. Here I have enough marks on the page that I'm pretty confident that I have the basic structure, and now I'm going to start going over those darker areas to define all the important features. I usually like to save the eyes till last because getting the eyes right either makes or breaks a portrait of somebody or something. So I'm really focusing on trying to get the correct almond shape of the eye and also trying to get the correct structure of the pupil with a darker outside and trying to keep those reflections intact.
A little food make it feel better?
Horses.
I already did a horse packet. Almost done, then I'll make you a packet, okay? Or are you just really kind of bored?
A few final touches on some of the more important features like the mouth and the nose, and I think I'm almost ready to call this done. All in all, this took me about 15 to 20 minutes to finish, so I have a lot of energy to try to do this again with somebody else, or maybe even myself. A few more wisps of hair to add to that dramatic effect. And this is ready to be signed and dated, and I'm going to call that a finished work.